global warming and everything might be destroyed. But also, you know, people are always like, you're only young once, right? But then it's like, you're only old once too. Like, I don't know, like, everything's only once. We only have one life. Ever heard of that thing called YOLO? Yeah, Zac Efron has a tattoo of it. Why don't you educate yourself and check it out? For those of you who are in high school, or even college, honestly, you know, I want to ease the pressure you may feel about needing to experience all of these different things while you're young, right? Because you simply have a lot of time left. Hi, this is the guidance counselor's office, right? It sure is, and you are Amanda? Yeah, sadly. Well, I am so happy that you made an appointment with me. You know, you're the first student who's ever... Okay, if I'm seeing you when I don't have to, that means something is seriously wrong. Okay, you should not be happy about it. Right. Noted. Okay, so what exactly brings you in today? I mean, I guess just normal teen stuff. You know, I just feel like my life is insignificant and I have nothing to offer to myself or those around me, and the space that my soul takes up on this mortal plane is basically just a waste of potential. Oh, okay, wow. I just thought you were gonna ask me about like college admissions or something. I just feel like everything is so miserable and boring. Math class? Who gives a fuck? I thought these were supposed to be the best years of my life, like on TV. TV? Yeah, like in Gossip Girl, they're always having these amazing parties and kissing hot people. In Riverdale, they're always having these weird, kooky adventures and kissing hot people. And then in Euphoria, they're always doing hard drugs and kissing hot people. And then in Pretty Little Liars, they're always kissing hot people too. And like sometimes those people are your teachers. Okay, well, you know, let's not glorify those experiences. That shouldn't be goals for you, just so we're clear. Listen, you have your whole life ahead of you. High school is not everything, okay? Not even close, all right? I mean, in fact, these will probably be the worst years of your life. What? So to the main thing that I wanted to talk about, I mean, the concept of peaking in high school. To be candid, it is just depressing as fuck. And I mean, not to brag, right? But my life has just gotten so much exponentially better since when I was in high school. And I can't imagine looking back on those years and being like, yeah, that was the top of the mountain for me. That was the peak of my life. High school is so early in your life, you know? That's like watching a movie and being like, yeah, my favorite part was the opening credits. Everything after that, it was just downhill. I mean, of course, during that time, you know, I made some lifelong friends. I made some good memories, but it doesn't necessarily bring me a rush of serotonin to think about waking up at 6:30 a.m. and then falling asleep and drooling on my desk during the Pledge of Allegiance. I stood up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, that was a joke. I feel like I have to clarify. But even if, like, who cares? It's weird that we do that anyway. When I think about certain things that mattered to me in high school, it's like astounding how much it does not matter and how much it just doesn't take up any space in my mind now, you know? Like, when I was in high school, I was worried and having heart palpitations over how much varsity playing time I had in lacrosse. Like, girl, who gives a fuck? Or I remember I got cut from the freshman year basketball team, and mind you, like, I was a decent athlete, okay? It was like, when I got cut, it was kind of like a shock. It shocked and shook the nation. It was like when a fan favorite gets voted off from a reality TV show. It's like, no, why would you do that? No, I'm over exaggerating. People were bummed, I think, but no one was like rioting over it. But I remember I got cut, I got snipped, like a vasectomy, right? And I was crying so bad, like hyperventilating, eyes puffy, like so upset. And then I remember my one friend, she's very sweet, and she's religious, right? She looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Emily, don't worry. This is all a part of God's plan." And I was like, yeah, for sure. You know, me getting cut from the freshman high school basketball team it's in the New Testament, for sure. God dealing with starvation, war, and pediatric cancer. God dealing with me trying out for the freshman year basketball team. Trust you will be dealt with. But the point is, you know, all of my triumphs and my pitfalls from however many years ago, they in no way stick with me now. So I can't imagine clinging on to things from that point in my life. Like even the more developmentally tangible things that I was dealing with during that time, like growing up LGBT in an environment that wasn't always very accepting really ever. And then, you know, growing up as an Asian girl in like a very, very white neighborhood and things like that. Like even those things that were affecting like my personhood, I still, it's just something that happened in the past and something that I've moved past. So I can't imagine things like being the captain of the football team and stuff like that, you know, remaining to be things that I would cling on to and show off to people. Hey girl, are you guys taking any job applications? Oh, you know, I really don't know, but do you have any experience in outpatient dermatology? Yeah, actually, before my pyramid scheme failed, I was a CNA for 6 months, and I did get fired though for breaking HIPAA because I was posting my patients on my Instagram story for my followers to rank by hotness and also to vote on who they thought deserved to live the most. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you probably shouldn't open with that. Oh, I was just telling you about my experience. I think that we're probably good for now. Would you just take a look at my resume? Please. Thank you. This is written in Sharpie. Varsity cheerleader and prom queen. They're both from like 25 years ago. And you misspelled varsity. Okay, well, I'm not Einstein, so. And for your references, it says, just ask around. Yeah, everyone in this town knows who I am. Okay, seriously, they all know about my greatest achievements that are listed there, so. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just trying to clarify. Your greatest achievements of your entire life are from high school. Yeah, aren't everyone's? Are you kidding me? I would give anything to go back. I mean, high school is like the best years of your life. Definitely not for all of us. Well, that's not really my problem. Okay, well, you know, we're not hiring. Sorry. Oh, listen. I was popular and I was prom queen, and I'm sorry if that bothers you. It sounds like it does because you were probably a loser who ate lunch alone in the bathroom and tried to commit suicide because boys didn't like you. But guess what? That's not my problem. Being prom queen over a decade ago, it's not really the most valuable achievement. Well, where's your crown? Okay, what did you have? A 4.0 GPA and a full-ride academic scholarship to university. Girl, no one gives a fuck about that. I'm sorry, what is it exactly that you currently have? Herpes. Oh God. From the high school quarterback as proof that I was varsity cheerleader. So, how about that for a fucking reference? I personally don't have anyone in my life that I would consider that they peaked in high school or that they consider that they peaked in high school, though I'm not sure anyone would openly admit that. But because I don't really like interact with people who have peaked in high school, it got me wondering like, okay, so what are some indicators that someone has peaked in high school? And so, you know, I went onto the best journalistic resource that I could find, Reddit. So a few things some people said were bragging about high school hookups in their 30s. Yeah, totally relate, you know. The only reason I'm not constantly talking about, you know, all the hookups I had in high school is just because there's too many of them to choose from, so I can't really, like, sort through them all, because I was just, I was hooking up a lot. I did a lot of that, you know, hooking up and such. My ex-stepmother constantly bragged about being a cheerleader in high school and winning a beauty walk. She was still bragging about these things the last time I saw her. She is in her mid-40s. One guy I knew literally got our school emblem and mascot and a huge class of 2010 tattooed on his shoulder. Anyone who bullies other adults as if they were in high school. The people that ask you to join those MLM schemes, selling body wraps or the like. Or the like. Anyone that has a Salt Life decal on their car when they live nowhere near the ocean or even a salt mine. Cop uniform. But anyways, this got me thinking about high school reunions, right? And on my first instinct, I was like, oh, a high school reunion, like, that would be like heaven for these people because they were God. You know, a lion returning to its den. Right, a noble returning to the kingdom of which I once ruled. Everyone trembled in fear as I sauntered down the corridor in my Nike shorts in the middle of January. I don't even know if my high school had a reunion, honestly, and even if they did, I would only maybe go if I happen to already be in the area, you know? But that's the thing with people who peaked in high school. Their